At the end of the day, my heart lies in places like this where I can go with my wife, $20,
Right.
have a giant meal, feel refreshed, get all the flavor and the spice I want,
Right.
and go home and not to be like, oh God, I just spent $200 on
Right.
a meal.
Right.
Like
Buyer's remorse. Even
know?
if you enjoyed the meal, right?
Right. So these are the places that I thought was one of the best things about the Bronx,
Right.
and why people should come here to eat, are because of these Bronx flavor restaurants.
Right.
So of course, along the way, you had, people would be like, oh, you're that restaurant critic, and I said, I'm not a critic at all. I said, I'm a researcher and a storyteller.
Right.
I said, the critiquing I do is very private. I said, I don't want anyone to lose business. I want all these poor places that are struggling to stay open with all this stuff that's going on. I don't want to be part of. Who am I to say, well, I found that the curry was a little watery. So if I don't like a place, I don't put them on the show. That's the critiquing ends there.
Right.
A lot of places have done very well from being on the show, and there's other places that, there's one great place, and right after we filmed, before the episode was edited, they closed. Disappeared, gone. Before we could even put them out there, and that's things like that are very unfortunate. And in terms of a Gerifuna, Garifuna restaurant in the Bronx, we've had two, and they both closed. And it's just like the most original and interesting places.
Right.
Like I said, it is a business, and it's such a shame that these places that are so unique and wonderful, they're places that can only play to that small audience. And my job, as much as it can be, is to broaden that audience and teach people about these wonderful places that, people might not know about, that are hidden, these hidden gems. Well, the Bronx has always been a strange mistress to me. She's been kind at times, she's been gentle, she's been harsh with others, but when I'm bad, I'm oh so bad. No, it's been a great mysterious garden to me. It always has been from the first time I came here and tasted its forbidden waters, if you will. But the best part about the Bronx is that every day there is a new mystery that unveils itself and reveals itself. Every time you think you've gone down Burke Avenue and seen every beautiful queen that reigns there, or every nook and cranny that would reveal a scent of hidden spice, new doors open.
Great. And has it led you to any love?
Well, love is a strange term, and there have been moments I've felt exuberant passion for at least 20 minutes.
You also have a character that, a characteristic, a mannerism that reminds me of the old silent films.
Sure.
Because they're so expressive. The eyebrow. And,
Right.
Did you feel like you sort of crafted your mannerisms based from that time frame?
I think that there's a lot of physical comedy involved in the show. And I think that a simple line could be made much more humorous with proper inflection and bigger language. And I think that one thing that Justin the filmmaker learned was that when you think you're overacting and then you watch it, you realize it's divided by two. So through the film world, both myself and Justin, our powers combined, we multiply everything by 4, and it's still divided by 2, so it's usually right where you want it.
Just meets at the
It meets at the right moment. They flew me out to the NAB show in Las Vegas last April, and it was just such a great experience. Suddenly, I went from using my own money to make this show to now we've got a budget. Now people were actually flying me somewhere and keeping me in a hotel to hear me talk about the process. It was very rewarding because here I was talking to a room full of editors and filmmakers, computer technology people about my technique. And like I said, the editing was always a necessary evil. It was never something I put much thought into in terms of how I did it. It was just something that had to get done. And, it's just such an interesting experience and really shown, I believe, at that moment how far we had come. Michael, Max, Nabi, and I went to NYC Life and, talked about them rebroadcasting some of our past episodes. and then said they want to make a new show called Spice Hunter for their channel. And, you know, things are very tough for the city right now, so we knew that would take some time for them to get the funding for that. In the meantime, why not share all these episodes we had produced and shown on Bronxton on a channel that's shown in New Jersey, Connecticut, all 5 boroughs, Westchester. And we started doing that, and they did a great street campaign, and it was kind of a nice trade between all of us of what, you know, what everyone was doing to make it happen. Every episode to this day is a battle. It's an absolute battle. It's like robbing a bank, and that's why we have such a small crew, and that's why we're so tight, is because, you know, perfect example, episode you're about to see coming up, correctional festivities, Baron Ambrosia's behind bars. I spend a week dealing with Department of Corrections to let them give me access to a prison. No one's using any prisons. The new commissioner's not letting anyone in. Law and Order's not coming in. You're not coming in. So what do? We hop in the truck. We go to Newark, New Jersey, find an abandoned jail. Got my team, my guys. We go in there. We're scoping it out. We're kicking crack vials out of the way and needles. And we're like, all right, can we shoot here? Test the lights, you know. Come back with the generator. We shoot it. We got lookouts. That's still how we work.
So
That's
it's still guerrilla.
It's still guerrilla, and that to me is the true love.
Would we ever see a Baron Ambrosia's guide to Bronx eateries? Like, are you, you know, I know that you resist places that are listed in like Zagat and all that. You want to uncover these hidden locations. Are you ever going to produce something that's tangible that a person from the Bronx or from wherever, someone visiting New York, can come and take a look at what's here?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely, like I said, we've had a lot of things that we've been building outside the show that's been influenced by the show. We're going to be doing some adaptations to the website that'll make it, we show all the locations I've been to, but something that's a little more user-friendly, like an iPhone app. People wanted me to host tours, which I've shied away from, because the idea of the show is to demystify these places in a lot of ways. You see me having a lot of fun there, being a wild guy. Obviously, the owners are pretty cool people, or they wouldn't let me in there.
Right.
Obviously, the people who are there are pretty cool people, or I wouldn't be filming in there. You know, so the show itself is supposed to be your ticket to that adventure. And I think if I was to host a tour, it's somehow telling people you can't go there by yourself.
It becomes something else, and it's still a spectacle.
And it's just, all of a sudden, it's this group of people coming like, oh, we're on a tour with Baron Ambrosia. And the people in the restaurant are like, this is our place. We eat here every day. This isn't, you know, a museum.
Right.
So that's why I tell people, you know, I'd rather you go there by yourself. Have your own, find your own inner Baron and have your own adventure.
You've achieved so much. What's next for you? And how are you feeling like you're living your now and owning your now?
Sure. Well, I think that, like I say, every moment has to be your now. And so many people, you know, I went to film school with, you could tell, they'd already given up before they started. And there's been so many opportunities, of course, when it looks hopeless. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like you're fighting so hard and you're like making the best thing you can make, and it's just a battle, you know? But you gotta keep going and know that, bottom line is you have to love what you do, or don't do it. People, you know, you tell people like, I want to make films like you, man. I'm like, you have to love it. That needs to be your party. That needs to be your night out. That needs to be all these things. And when you're in that, like I said, when we're out in those shoots, we're having fun.
Right.
And if you don't have fun doing something that's this challenging, you're not gonna make it.
Right.
And I've always had fun doing it. And even when it looked, you know, like everything in the world was collapsing around me and battling the idea of me being a successful filmmaker, you just keep going.